And I'm aware that I've just been part of this. In fact, I will tell you that as the campaign went on and as it gathered steam and momentum, that I became less and less a part of it. And I've told you many times, and I think some of you thought I was just being, courteous or gracious or something like that when I said I was so thankful that I could be a part of this team. But I want to tell you, and Catherine and Tammy both can tell you, that I mean that I'm just so thankful that I could be part of this team. And although we've lost this election, although we lost this battle, we will not lose this war. And we will not stop, and we will continue. And we will continue to pray and work together to let Arkansas become the kind of state it can become, to return to Arkansas the values and principles on which this country was founded, to recover the convictions that brought us to the place that we were bound together tonight to seek the face and mind of God for our state and for our country and for our future. And we shall continue to do that. And I will tell you, I rarely ever get discouraged. Some of you know that I don't get discouraged. And even when I should be, I'm probably just not smart enough to be discouraged. But there was one particular time in the campaign where I got a little bit down. And it usually happens when I get fatigued, which I don't get fatigued very often either. But it was one morning about 8 or 9 months ago, and I woke up one morning, went down to my study, and was so exhausted and so tired. I sat there wondering, tell me again why I'm doing this. I was struggling a little bit with why I was doing this. And then I got 3 or 4 consecutive little ticky little calls. Listen, not important stuff, just people crying. Nothing, no big deal. And it was just enough to kind of tip me over the edge, and I really, really started down and being discouraged, which is unusual for me. So I picked up my Bible and I began to read the book of Esther. Some of you know the story. There was a fellow named Haman who was going to be the governor, and there was a fellow named Mordecai who was his opponent. And Haman decided he was going to hang Mordecai on a pole about 75 foot tall the next morning in a city square. And God turned that whole thing around. And before the sun set the next day, it was Haman hanging on the pole and Mordecai was the governor. Now, I don't want to be Haman, but I wasn't sure I was Mordecai either. So let me be clear. But what I did get from that is that God appoints the leaders and the rulers and the governors. And I've always walked in the peace of that. And I've been asked for the last few days if I had any anxiety about the outcome of the election, and the answer's been no. I haven't. Because I have the confidence that God appoints, and that God's will is sovereign, and that He loves us enough to always do only the very best for us, and I believe He's done that somehow tonight. And I have peace in that. Now, some of you suggested that I wasn't anxious because I was too tired to be worried. Which may have been true. But I want to tell you, as I've traveled the state, some of you heard me make the statement, the more Arkansans I talk to, the more I like us. And I want to tell you, the very best ideas that I had to offer the state of Arkansas, I got from you, listening to you. And whoever becomes the governor of the state, I'm going to pray that they will discover that. And that they'll stay out of Little Rock. And spend a lot of time listening to you, because I believe you know how to solve the problems of this state. And I believe that if whoever's in charge and whoever's in leadership will spend the time necessary to listen to you, I think they will come to the same conclusions you and I came to as we work through this campaign.